All right. The factional leader of Labour Party, Nenadi Usman, has accused the APC-led government of weaponizing hunger in the land. Talked about their policies, their actions, that they want to try and also collapse the whole parties to be a one-party state. And he said that's not good for democracy.
Yeah.
Yes. Okafor.
Yeah, it's not good for democracy, and you see that is why we begin to ask ourselves question. There is something I was searching for when you were, when you were talking. Let me read that thing so that I will respond from there. This is a statement from Nenadi, who eventually was accusing the APC, for infiltrating all the opposition and weakening opposition. But listen to this. Say, but let me be brutally honest, she added. Why external interference from the APC has played a role, it is not the only culprit. The opposition has too often been complicit in its weakening. For example, Labour itself, PDP itself, has been complicit in its or in their own weakening.
They allowed it.
They allowed it.
What do you think is the reason?
There is a crack where APC had to use to manipulate.
What do you think is the reason?
No, I'm coming. No amount of external sabotage can succeed if there is no internal decay. She created a solution for her own accusation. No, let me tell you, that is why we begin to tell Nigerians. You begin to get scared why Nigerians have their interest rooted in tribe, rooted in religion, rooted in something like called vague likeness. Something like, I don't like Atiku.
For no reason.
For no reason. Those kind of things they do in a creative environment, entertainment environment. This is my celebrity.
This is my role model.
If you eat apple, you go like apple by force. So where's the reason of liking the person? You don't know. It's very vague. Baseless. So you find out that much of our society and much of our population still function that way. Some people, as it is now, sincerely, they know they are not satisfied with what Asiwaju is doing at the moment. But because he's a Yoruba man, and if they are in PDP, they are in LP, they are in SDP, they can't imagine themselves working with their other Nigerians to ensure Asiwaju doesn't win 2027. Rather, they will become a mole in their own party to be helping somebody who doesn't even know they are helping him. Now, the help you are rendering to that person, you said is not performing. That's why I see them talking with two mouths. They will come, they tell you Asiwaju is not working well. Then you now ask them, how do we prepare for 2027? They tell the coalition will not work again. Who do you want? Which one will work? It is that they are hooked to something they can't explain. It has to be tried. Oftentimes, you people overrate them by saying they have been bought over. Nobody paid them. Asiwaju didn't pay them. APC didn't pay them.
All right. Eli, what he
they are imprisoned.
In politics, we call it primordial sentiments. Is inbuilt, is primordial. Whether the person does evil or people still follow Hitler
Steady.
today.
Yes.
With all the harmful correct.
If Americans had not gone to dump the ashes of Saddam Hussein in the deep Red Sea, don't you know that there are people that will go to do pilgrimage at his grave every year? Do you think it's everyone that cares? When Matasine in Kano was killing people, there were people that were his followers.
In Katsina?
No, it started in Kano, in Bompai Police Barrack, precisely because my late uncle was one of the officers that healed him when he was captured and killed. I know that. I was a child, but I know that. The devil himself, when he rebelled against God, did he not have followers? Did you hear that God threw the devil away? No, he said him and his followers. So that is how life is. People are, like he has said, some people do not even know why they are doing what they are doing. People are confused. And more so, the situation of Nigeria, people are even more confused. You know why? Because men of honor are not even given the opportunity to lead the country. And few people, neutral ones that come into the scene, when people are expecting them to do things, to bring a change, to bring a change that will show how bad the ones some of us feel are bad is, they will even become more badder if that language is allowed. They become worse. Sorry, they become worse. So that is the situation. Do you understand? When you don't have direction, when you don't have purpose, when you don't have ideology, you do things just anyhow.
Let me tell you. Go ahead.
You go in that direction.
Yeah.
But I want to add this. The opposition as well doesn't believe what Nenadi is saying. Of course, we know these things exist. We know that that's the ruling party, not opposition. The ruling party doesn't believe in what Nenadi has said. But we all know that they have a stock in trade.
Okay, let me come this way. If you remember when Wike was responding to Bode George, he said your stronghold, which is Lagos, has PDP been relevant in Lagos. That even when PDP was in power, we know all we did to take over Lagos, and it did not work. Do you know why? Lagos were together. The internal infractions were not there. We did everything. I remember in 2003, I worked for Asiwaju Second Ten. I was in Lagos. Koro came from all the way from Abuja. Koroibo. Everywhere. Obasanjo power, federal power. We took it upon ourselves to work for Asiwaju. Not necessarily because it was overperforming, but to preserve democracy. And it was only Lagos State that survived it then.
For AD.
For all of that, the Ogun, fell, Olumbe Garden, it was like a whirlwind. Even that of Lagos was tough. Obanikoro was their candidate then. So you have to be solid inside. You have to be solid inside to be sure that when outsiders come, which they will, we can converse that they did. So it is not of politicians. I've always said it. When a politician play politics, you don't get him arrested. When a musician play music, you don't get him arrested because that's their work. There's no politician that will not play politics. Nigerians have to ask themselves questions. Go to all these parties where this is happening. Beyond ethnicity, beyond religion, you are going to find issues of corruption, trying to hold on to a position because that's where they make their money from. You know, the entire system is where you have politics being the avenue to become rich instead of enterprise. People are hooking up to party position or trying to contest. Those who have already won want to remain there because that's the only way they can make money.
Now, the ruling party, they're thinking that Nenadi Usman's views on the oppositions are not right. But Okafor has already given us that before the opposition comes in, there's a crack on the hole. Of course, Nenadi also mentioned it, that at a point, the opposition are gullible, and maybe, peradventure, maybe some of them stomach infrastructure. Do you understand? That's the way they've gotten in. But I wanted to talk on the ruling party's views on Nenadi's assertion, or what he said.
You heard what he said. You're only relevant. You to be given contract, you need to be close to people in power. Once the contract is given and you execute, for your payment to come, you still need people who will influence this thing. So what is it? When we remain in the situation we are today, where the ruling power or the people in position are the ones that can decide, not by the qualities of what you've done. When things are continued to be manipulated, do you understand? In favor of people who are being favored by certain group of persons, this is what will continue. So, if Nenadi says so, we also know that for you to get free from this kind of situation, you need a situation where the system will be neutral. Now you have the ruling party looking into what Nenadi said about how, of course, they know very well how they infiltrate other parties and cause chaos here and there, making it like a one-party system. And the reason is very simple. If all politics is about number, if every other person are buying the idea of a particular group of person or party as being the most important that has to remain or have to come back, certainly number carries it. And then in this situation where they know this, they will be doing everything, either openly, directly or indirectly, to make it be in that way so that they can always have their ways.
Okay. Now, in winding down, this primordial sentiment, this gullibility from the opposition, how can they close that crack wall?
You know, it can only be by pressure, but you can't remove it because it's natural to many people. With education, not necessarily academic degree, but with...
But in a developed democracies, we don't see
I said with education, and that's why I was going to say with education, not with academic degree. That's not education I mean. With education, you begin to realize that you do not need somebody from your tribe to be the leader for you to be comfortable. Okay, it's meaningless. You know, but where they refuse to get educated, those who know the right thing to do have to apply the pressure. You know, democracy is still issues of number. If we're in a majority, they are not going to find their way. You know, they can only have their voice, which is even in a wrong place. For example, you are in no opposition party. You are working for Asiwaju. Please, I will appreciate you decamp, join APC. Just like Okowa, our former governor, you know, and our current governor has done, have done. It's better than being in SDP. You are working against SDP. You are in LP. You are working against LP. You are in PDP. You are working against PDP. That's nonsensical. You reduce yourself. You do not even understand democracy. And you're also laying a negative badge on yourself. Oftentimes, this issue that APC has bought them may not be true. They are responding to their primordial sentiment, like you said. It's just there. You see some people who are very hungry, go and make statement against Wike. They don't want to come online and tell you. Okay, the other day you were saying it. You see, carry your microphone, go to the street. You see somebody in a particular state. Let's remove Wike. It's not about Wike. In a particular state where the governor has made them dry. You ask him, who is the best person in this state? You say the governor. He's hungry. He doesn't know where you eat in the evening because maybe the governor is from his tribe.
Or his party.
Or his party.
Or his religion.
Or his religion. So you can't remove it because it's from the mind. But with education, they become a minority. And some of them they just shared it off slightly. You begin to see the flashes. But with education and with pressure from those who know the right thing, we will conquer at the end of the day.
Okay, so this kind of a little bit screwed word, bigots we normally call them, they will always be there. Do you understand? But like I said, I believe in what you said. With a little education and enlightenment, I think they will come up to speed and see that it's human first and not tribe or religion or ethnicity. That's the Nigerian one. We'll be right back.